Now, Ukraine is warning against, quote, destructive external interference in Moldova's breakaway region of Transnistria. Now, this comes after pro-Russia separatists there asked Moscow for protection. Now, this is the same overture used by separatists in eastern Ukraine a decade ago. The self-proclaimed republic is a tiny sliver of land located between Ukraine and Moldova. They were both Soviet republics. Transnistria broke away from Moldova during the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s. Now, people identifying as Russian, many of them holding Russian citizenship, make up a sizable minority in Transnistria, and tensions have been rising ever since Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
A first in nearly 2 decades, officials meeting for a rare special congress in Transnistria's capital, Tiraspol. The pro-Russian separatists asking Moscow to protect the breakaway region from what they call the threat from Moldova. The move has many Moldovans concerned. It's really dangerous what's happening in Tiraspol. They're declaring war on Moldova. Many worried the Kremlin-backed officials are weighing another push to join Russia. In 2006, more than 9 in 10 Transnistrian voters backed a similar call. But the referendum wasn't recognized internationally and Transnistria remained part of Moldova. But Russia's influence in the breakaway region is undeniable.
Russia is a presence both militarily and financially. For one, it pays special pensions to Transnistrians, but it also supplies gas to the region.
The Kremlin says it considers protecting Transnistrians a top priority, while accusing Western powers of interfering in Moldova's internal affairs.
NATO is stubbornly trying to mold the republic into literally a second Ukraine, contrary to the mood of the majority of the Moldovan population. And in general, apparently without thinking about the consequences of this for the country and for the region on the whole.
Russia's invasion of neighboring Ukraine has fueled fears that Moldova could be next, especially as the country's president, Mircha Barbu, has been pushing to join the EU. Meeting with the Ukrainian president in Albania, Sandu said she wasn't worried.
Moldova is safe today, thanks to the bravery of the Ukrainian soldiers, and we are very grateful to them.
The tension, though, also causing concern in Washington.
Good afternoon. Given Russia's increasingly aggressive and destabilizing role in Europe, we are watching Russia's actions in Transnistria and the broader situation there very closely.
Just one of several Western voices warning that Russia is trying to destabilize the region even further.
Mircha Barbu is a freelance journalist who joins us now from just outside Chisinau, the capital of Moldova. Welcome to you, Mircha. I know that you have gained rare access to Transnistria. You were there until this morning, I believe. So tell us, are Transnistrians concerned about this appeal from pro-Russian separatists to Moscow?
I wouldn't say they're concerned. They're actually quite happy and keen to gain support from Moscow. As you rightfully said, about half of the population holds Russian citizenship. On the streets of Tiraspol, you can hear Russian speakers in 99% of the cases. So people are very keen and they look up to Moscow for what they want and what they call protection from Moldovan interference into business. And when I say business, it means their economics.
OK. Now, we know that Russia already has a small military presence in Transnistria. How likely is it that more Russian troops will be sent there?
Well, it's highly unlikely, and not because it's a matter of will, but this is a matter of geography, logistics. At the moment, Moldova is a landlocked country, and Transnistria is an enclave within a landlocked country. The border with Ukraine was shut between Transnistria and Ukraine was shut, I believe, 3 months into the war. So the only access into this enclave is through Moldova at the moment. Unless Russia plans to invade Moldova through the airport or somehow through the Black Sea, through Odessa, which means they would actually have to take Odessa, I don't see how they can send more Russian troops into Transnistria or into Moldova at the moment.
OK, so there will for now be no more Russian troops likely to be fed into Transnistria. I wanted to ask, I mean, if that were a possibility, would that then have knock-on effects on the conflict in Ukraine?
Of course, I mean, anything that happens at the moment in Ukraine or in, I'm sorry if there's a bit of noise here. Anything that happens in Ukraine and in Moldova at the moment has effect not only on the two countries, but on the region itself. And that's because Transnistria has been a hotbed ever since the war in the early 90s. There's a huge ammunition depot called Kobasna, the largest that Russia holds in Eastern Europe. We talk about Russian citizens, half of Moldova's population. So obviously there are security implications for everyone, including for Romania, because at the same time, a lot of Moldovans hold Romanian passports, and Romania is a NATO country, as you all know. So definitely huge implications at the moment for anything that happens in Transnistria or to a larger extent in Moldova.
Mircha Barbu in Moldova. Thank you so much, Mircha, for those fascinating insights.